Good evening on this election night.
Here's what we know thus far. Governor Tom Wolf, Senator Rob Menendez, Senator Bob Casey, and Senator Tom Carper all won their re-election races. There's a handful of races, though, still too close to call.
When it comes to the balance of power, Republicans maintain control of the Senate and Democrats gain control of the House.
We have a team of reporters fanned out across our area, staying on top of all of our races. We begin with one of the most expensive ones, the race for U.S. House District 1 in Pennsylvania, and here are the results thus far. Brian Fitzpatrick versus Scott Wallace, 51% for Fitzpatrick, 49% for Wallace. It is very, very tight. Our Alexandria Hoff and Greg Argos are following this race. We begin with Alex, who is with the Fitzpatrick campaign in Doylestown. Alex?
Well, Yuki, anticipation is definitely building up. Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick has not made an appearance in this room just yet. We expect him to do so once this race has been called. It's been tight all evening, but right now he is holding that small lead, and he is vying for a second term representing what is now Pennsylvania's 1st district. Fitzpatrick is a Levittown native. He's a former FBI special agent, and he's brother to former Congressman Mike Fitzpatrick. And all along this campaign, he's been promoting his centric voting record and his willingness to stand up against the president if need be. And we spoke with a supporter earlier who says she is a strict Republican, but she appreciates this independent flair.
Very diehard Republican, and I like what our party stands for. And I know he is on the independent line as well, so I think he would do well for both sides. And I think it's important that we kind of come together at this point because there's such division.
Now, Congressman Fitzpatrick has been significantly outspent by his Democratic opponent, Scott Wallace. And for more from that campaign, let's turn it over to our Greg Argos. Hi, Greg.
Hey there, Alex. You're here at Scott Wallace's campaign headquarters, essentially. A lot of his supporters are waiting for the candidate to come down. He is in the building, we're told, upstairs, watching these results come in. And the tone here has shifted to one of cautious optimism, but a little bit more of a muted tone right now. And that is because the results, 83% of precincts are in, 49% for Wallace. Brian Fitzpatrick, the Republican incumbent, in at 51%, a difference of about 8,000 votes. So we are seeing slightly more votes coming in for Fitzpatrick, and that is why we're seeing a more muted tone here. But once again, as Alexandria mentioned, a lot of money was spent on this campaign. It was known as the Battle for Bucks County, a very important race for the Democrats to win in order to take control of the House. I was able to speak with Scott Wallace's communications director a short while ago about what this race means, not only for the folks here in Bucks and Montgomery County, but also the rest of the nation. Take a listen.
It's really important for Democrats to take this seat. It's a bit of a bellwether. I think if Scott can win here and we can pull out enough Democrats out to vote, which I think we saw in a record turnout today for midterms, I think this will help us determine where the House goes.
As it stands right now, some 3 hours after the polls close, this race, District Number 1, still too close to call. As soon as it is called and the candidate Scott Wallace comes down for either his acceptance or resignation speech, we'll of course pass that along to you. For now, though, that is the latest live here in Bucks County. I'm Greg Argos, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Looks like it's going to be a while. Greg and Alex, thank you so much.